Here we're looking at the Rabbitings site, but here you can see it was a slag heap, and it was prominent wherever you went in the village where I live. And of course slag came out of the ground with coal, and this is what couldn't be sold. When it was landscaped it looked something like that, to begin with anyway, and at first people thought it was a mess that it wasn't going to get sorted. But you'll see shortly how wonderful it's all become. And that is, it was, first of all, it was landscape, there was topsoils put on it, and then it was grassed, and we'll see what goes off. Looked like nothing could grow on it, didn't it, at that point? But after only a short while of being grassed, here's some what it started to look like. The red shale, by the way, was slag in some cases, but it was one of them things that came out of the ground with soil, and slag, of course, was no good for burning, although it did catch fire from time to time, and we weren't allowed to go on this site at all at one point when I was a young fellow. I used to walk around the edges, and here you can see the start of the footpaths leading up to the top of the heap, now it being landscaped and grass. No trees look at that point, and there's lots of trees on now, thankfully, to people such as my friend Michael, who was the warden on site for some time and is now been taken over by, I'm not sure if it's a land trust or not, but he did a lot of work on this site to begin with, and you'll probably see as the slides go on how it's changed over the years. Now here you can see that they put the footpaths in, and this is looking from just leaving the car park, but it looks so sterile, doesn't it? Just a bit of grass there and nothing else. And at first it wasn't, people thought there was nothing to see, but when you got off the beaten track there was lots to see, because some of the original landscaping had been left in due to it being vitalised over the years with trees and plants, and I'm hoping to show you that in a little moment in a while. But as you can see on parts of the site, the grass didn't take, and it had to be redone, I think, or planted up with trees. Now the fencing, I do believe, was to keep people out from areas that was going to be planted. And I think on the bottom left there we can just see a few saplings, and those saplings now are mature. So it gives you a rough idea of how things have changed and keep changing on site. In fact, every time I go on site it's something different. But every site you go to, if there's water on site or trees on site, it changes by the season anyway. Now this is a shot from the other side of the heap, the landscape, what's now known as Rabbitings site, a country park, and this is the other side of where the car park is, in the next village actually. And I was surprised to get this shot. I did try my best to not put that pile on him, but it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But you can see there's more green there, and on this particular one, coming down off site, you can see the channels as there, water channels, and lots of vegetation has not grown yet. And now, a few years on, there's all vegetation on there, and where the fences are on the left, I think there's more trees in there. And this is looking down over Royston, the village where I live, and it's there's also a few chimneys, wonderful views, and this is looking in the opposite direction to the village I live in. And at this point, you can actually, when the rain's coming, you can feel the pressure change, and you know that either rain's on the way or not. And these footpaths have actually been widened, and on the right hand side you can see drainage, but on the far right now you can see plant life getting established and how it's changed since you saw the first one. And looking, excuse me, I've just had lunch, looking down from the top of the slag heap, the rabbiting site, keep calling it a slag heap, but it was a slag heap, it's not now, is it? You can see the village of Royston. By the way, those pylons, I watched those pylons being built as a child. I lived at Addersley at that time, and so that gives you an indication of how long they've been standing. Why they didn't go on the ground is another matter. I suppose it was cheaper, wasn't it, to have them above like that. And at this point on the the community walk, or whatever you want to refer it to as, you can see there is parts of it that become very steep and it falls away. And so what I would say is, if you're attempting this particular site for the first time, come out of the car park, turn left and carry on and follow your nose round that way until you come to a bridge. And then when you come to the bridge, then you turn right, and there's just a short incline to go up, and there's a seat there as well. Anyway, when I was going around the survey all those years ago, I did find areas that had not been landscaped, and here's one of them. And there's flowers. There was flowers on site, and I don't know what they were. I don't know what they had. I don't know what they were. But you know, they were thriving, and there's the catkins were on there as well, and teasels. Now teasels are attracting goldfinch, and there wasn't many goldfinch at the time, and now there's loads of teasels on rabbitings, and there's lots and lots of goldfinch on site, and so it's done a good thing, hasn't it? Letting nature take its course, and we have skylarks singing on top as well, on top of the site. So these teasels, they do wonderful things really all year round, because they can get the seed out of them. Seed eaters can use these as all year round. And if you have a look round, you'll see there's loads of teasels now. And probably these were the only ones at that time. There weren't many. Now, I don't know if they're self-sets, because they're blowing the wind, the seeds, I suppose, or if a lot of these teasels are being put in. Now, I have no idea what this pink flower was. It's dainty. I'm sure you people who know about flowers will be able to tell me. But again, you know, it was on site. I never expected to see it. I never expected to see any flowers actually, because you saw what the first slides were like. It was a barren place, but it wasn't barren all over. I must stress that. And in another vlog I'll show you at some time. Now here's an airy caterpillar I found in February. And I can't touch airy caterpillars because I come out in a rash if I do, but I kept going on site and I found that there was quite a few on there, and they were all walking from the right of the footpath, to the left of the footpath, and I never found out why. So once again I found these flowers. I don't know what they were, but you can see that they preferred to live in soil that was not good quality soil, and we would term them as weeds if they were in that type of soil. But they look very pretty. They might even be, what could it be, poppy family, would you say? One of the problems people had on the site at that time was the waterlogging, before the drainage systems were put in place. But you can see that they did leave trees in certain areas, where it didn't need it, they didn't do it. But this was, waterlogging was a real problem at first. Some days you could get through for a walk, and other days you couldn't get through for a walk at all. So, I had to turn back several times. And it just so happened when I was doing the project, it was a terrible summer, wet-wise. But here's one of the drainage systems that they put in place, and this is looking towards the car park. It looks like a freestanding one, doesn't it? So I'm wondering if they put pipes in later. Well, there you can see they've put the pipes in, and they've put a culvert there that goes under the road, and they've put the covers over to stop animals getting trapped in there as well. Well, there were a few birds on site when I went, and this happened to be the only day that it didn't rain on me. You can see blue skies. Most days I went out and I did a year survey, I got drenched. It was an awful year. But the kestrel didn't seem to mind, and I think there's a female. And this swan did get a nest. I think you can see the egg there, but I don't think it did anything. I was surprised actually that it nested at all, because the site was not established. And swans usually like to have everything right. But what about this? What is it? Is it a short-eared owl, I think? Yeah, probably short. Can't see any long ears. No, I think it's a short-eared owl. And so I did well to see that. This was the first nest I saw on site, and I think the only nest that year actually. And I'm not sure what it was, but I was on full zoom to get this. I was quite away from it. I don't go near this at all. I've never have done. This is the last clip for this particular short vlog, but it just shows you that there was hardly anybody using the car park at that time, and I don't think anybody knew about the site. But I hope you've enjoyed watching, and hope you watch my next one. So bye from now. Bye.